So it has just gone day 107 of our 1000 Dawns, ladies and gentlemen. And before we start to go about today's events, I have to talk about what happened last night. You see, last night, well, let me tell you about exactly the full day of last night. When I got home from work at about 4:30 in the morning, I got straight back to work. As in, I got my computer on, I started editing videos immediately, and guess what? I continued doing this almost all day. I took a break somewhere to go get some fresh air, and then I was just back at work, editing videos, laying out plans, writing up plans. I did, well, pretty much as much work as can be filled into so many hours as probably one man could probably do or face. Which, taking this as a whole, let me tell you exactly what this all means in reality. The previous time I slept was about 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning. So that meant I went through almost 30 hours pretty much without a stop. 30 hours without a pause in the middle. It was so far the longest I'd ever actually stayed awake, and it was the most consecutive amount of time I've actually been involved in work in my entire life. And guess what? As I mentioned previously, this week we have coming up, starting on Wednesday, the period will only get longer and longer and longer as I throw myself more into the hours I have at my day job and the hours I spent doing, my other work. And so what happened was that when I recorded the last of my videos last night, literally 5 minutes before midnight, I collapsed into my bed. I didn't even get undressed. I just collapsed in bed. And I collapsed in bed in such a way that I thought I might have done some damage to my shoulder. Thankfully, I didn't. But the point was that I was asleep from midnight for about 7 hours. 30 hours of work with about a 7-hour kip at the end of it. And guess what happened, guys? I woke up and I was straight back to work immediately. And it's now 7 o'clock in the evening. So 12 hours have gone by, and I'll promise you guys, I'll get to sleep before midnight tonight because, well, 15 hours I think is adequate. And quite frankly, I don't want to start scaring people and thinking that I'm going to make myself seriously ill by staying up this late and doing this. It's the sort of thing I can't really bring home to you in terms of, well, I'm doing this maybe not for the benefit of my own health, but for the benefit of cementing my legacy. Because work is still going on. Everything is continuing exactly as the same as before. And even though the end is still almost 900 days in sight, there is light at the end of the tunnel. There always is, and there always will be. And I've also been involved in a lot of work earlier today that has some really interesting benefits, but we'll have to wait and see what the development is going to look like for that. It's so far it's been an incredibly interesting, but actually a very rewarding series of events. And what I'm just going to say to conclude this is that it doesn't stop here. The pace is going to be ever quickening and ever faster. And I know it's the sort of thing that not a great deal of people will like, because is it really the best thing in the world to be running yourself almost ragged? I'm not sure. But as I've almost exemplified the status of my life almost to very, very basic, but very simple enough for me principles to follow, such as do I really want to get myself out to Vegas, or am I just going to be stuck in this lane for the rest of my life? When you're faced with a simple, straightforward decision as that, Vegas, absolutely. And that seems to satisfy all parties concerned. Meantime, I'll see all of you guys again next time. Thank you.